In July and August of 2010, Betsy and I joined our friends Bill and Anita Perrin from London for a 3-day canal boat ride on the Llangollen Canal in northern Wales. These boats aren't very wide, as you can see. Betsy can almost touch side to side, and they're very long, 65 feet. They kind of remind you of a Pullman car, and when you're driving one, they steer like a Pullman car. The scenery includes everything from wedding parties to really neat little villages, and you'll even see that some of the stores in these villages have some really unusual names. They also, in the UK or Wales, still use steam engines to get around, so it's kind of a fun little town. As you go along, you have an opportunity to buy eggs on the honor system. The canals, as you can see, are quite narrow, some places only wide enough for your boat. When you feel like it, this is the place we stop for our evening cocktails and hors d'oeuvres at dinner and watch the beautiful sunset. Driving this boat is a real challenge. Here we're about to go through a 580-meter long tunnel. And I mentioned earlier these boats are extremely difficult to steer. They're made out of half-inch steel plate, which makes them very heavy, and being very long, they don't turn very much. So when you make an entry into something like this tunnel, where there is very little room on either side of the boat, chances are you're going to start banging into things. That's why they make them out of steel. It's kind of like a bumper car ride in Disneyland. As you get into the tunnel, there are no lights in there. It gets very dark, hard to see where you're going. You also have to go through some locks. When the canals need to drop or raise in elevation, they put locks in them. And keep in mind, these canals were built 200 years ago, mainly to transport cargo. Alongside the canal, there's always a towpath because the barges they used 200 years ago were pulled by horses. These locks are really kind of neat. There's a couple of doors that you open up, and you can see the level at this point is the same as the canal from which we come, and like everything else, they don't give you an awful lot of room. I'm not even sure it's necessary to steer when you come into these things, because you're just going to squeeze in there, bouncing from side to side, as you'll see the camera take a jolt here in a second, which is banging in. There you go. And once you get the boat fully inside the lock, these are self-tended locks, your crew then closes those doors behind you so that the water now that you're floating on is trapped inside the lock. The crew is then going to come up to the other end of the lock, where there are a couple of sluice gates that they'll open to allow water from the high-level canal to flood the lock and raise the longboat up to the new level. Once you get to that point, you open this big door that we're coming up to, pull on out, and usually there'll be another longboat waiting on the other side to come in. They'll close the door behind them, go down to the locks that we closed, the gates that we closed, open those, the water drains out, they open the door, and out they go. The whole process takes no longer than 15 minutes, and usually you may have 5 or 6 boats waiting to go through there, so the process sometimes takes an hour to get through. In addition to learning some humility when it comes to steering these boats, you also learn patience, because you just have to wait. There's nothing about this. This is the door in front of us is closed, and you can see I'm up there cranking away on the gate that's going to allow water from the upper canal to flood and start raising the boat up. There are actually two gates, one on either side, and that's our friend Anita cranking up the other gate. Bill was driving, Betsy was sitting in the bow of the boat, doing an excellent job of taking these videos. When the water starts flooding into the lock, it tends to want to move the boat. Well, Betsy almost did a great job taking the video. There I am sideways. And I'm telling Bill to back up because there's a sill in the bottom that you got to be careful not to be over when you're going up and down in these locks. Once the process starts, the water floods pretty quickly. You can see the boat starting to rise up there, and it doesn't take long before you finally get in a position where you can open the door and head on out and make room for the next boat that's waiting in there. Don't even bother tying lines off. There's literally no place for the boat to go. The next thing we did was to go over the Ponce-Silti Aqueduct, and this is what it looks like from the ground. This is a cropped picture. I didn't take this. It was built 205 years ago, and it's a stone bridge on the top of which they bolted a cast iron trough. And the trough is just high enough to hold the water in, and that's it. On one side there's a walkway, as you can see on the left, and on the other side there's nothing. It's a really scary experience. That's Anita taking a picture of us, because when you're going along here, you can see as I point the camera over the side, there is just absolutely nothing between you and what you're looking down at. And plus the fact that there isn't a lot of room there, you tend to want to bang into the edge of the thing. It's scary. And here's Bill and Anita, our friends that went with us. The scenery from the bridge is also spectacular. There's a bridge down there. But anyway, we thought you'd enjoy these few